Hello everyone, my name is Jesse and welcome back to another Bakugan video. Today we're going to be taking a look at my custom-made Ultimate Dragonoid. So this was a 3D printed file that got released recently by someone on the Discord I'm a part of called No Shame in Feeding, and he released the 3D print file, which you can find down below in the description. I'll put a link to it, and you can print this out for yourself if you like it. I also wanted to emphasize this before we really get into the video, but these files are available online to anyone, and they should not be meant for resale. The creator of this worked very hard to make this free to the public, and there is no reason that you guys should be trying to make a profit off this by turning them and selling them. All that's going to do is wash out the market and create all kinds of problems, plus you're using someone else's work. I understand it's free and he's willingly giving it to the community. I think as the Bakugan community, as there are already issues with price gouging and other things about expensive Bakugan, this Ultimate Dragonoid being a custom, of course, there have been previous ones going for huge prices online, but now that this is available for free and to the public, there should be no reason we see these prices anymore. So I would respect the creator of this. He's giving this to the community for free, and in turn, I believe that we should all be making these for ourselves, making these for our friends, but not for a profit. So I don't want to see any of these online for sale. I can tell because of how specific the designs are. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. So this is what mine looks like. He is a bit on the cruder side, and I will admit it's not my best work, I think. But it gets the job done, and that's what's most important. The big problems I have with this is that I'm just not experienced with 3D printing. So my big issues were finding someone to print it, which I ended up finding just a random company online that did it for like $2 a part, which I don't even know if that's good or bad, but the print quality on this wasn't amazing. So I blame that for a lot of my issues. Particularly, I think I point this out later on, I have some other footage, but particularly here, it's just the plastic that they used never actually like molded. It just kind of layered itself on both sides of these wings, and you can really see it on this one. It's just really bumpy, and yeah, not the best quality. And so in saying that, I will go through basically all the steps. So first off, we had just the parts, and I'll pull up videos now so you can see them. So basically it was just 3D printed parts, and those were all together, and they were just, you got two different pieces of the head, the feet, body, different sides of the body, and then the wings. And what's great about this is it's actually very similar to just a B2 Pyrus Drago, or just B2 Drago in general. The parts are exactly the same, except for some small modifications. But if you've ever taken apart a Dragonoid, building one of these shouldn't be too bad. But I'll get into my issues with it here. So the first thing I did was I got excited and thought I was gonna paint it first and then put it together. And I started doing that because I got a little, I got too excited and jumped the gun a little bit. And what I found was that I was like, well, shoot, I don't know how hard this thing's gonna actually be together. I'll end up ruining the paint if I don't put it together first. So I stopped painting it and then started putting it together. And this is when the issues started occurring. So I don't know if it's just the print file or if it's the people that printed my specific parts, but the pins that are supposed to go through the body and the screws just didn't really work well. They got through, like I managed to jam them through. It took a lot of effort, and I just reused parts from old Bakugan that were broken. They got through, but everything was very stiff, and the magnet didn't want to actually trigger the mechanism. Now, I have seen the creator's video of this, and his is fully functioning. It's incredible. But as for mine, I experienced a lot of problems, and I loosely base that on my inexperience with 3D printing. And so I don't want to say you'll have the same experience, but just be wary. Because I did have some issues, and it goes the same for any springs and other pins, like the springs and the wings. Number one, I didn't have the correct springs. The creator says to use springs from a B2 Drago, which I recommend. Like, find an old B2 Drago or a broken one and use all the parts for it, because I didn't have those. And so what ended up happening is when I found out that the whole Bakugan was very stuck, like I'll show you on the head here, the head itself is like super rigid and stuck, and the wings are just... They're very stiff, and that's partly because of paint, partly because of just how the plastic is. But the magnetic mechanism in this works, as you can see, but it will not deploy anything. And so this is a fully manual Ultimate Dragonoid, which, if you are not looking to pull apart a Bakugan and simply put it together, it's very easy to do. All you need is the pins and like 2 screws. And so it's really not that bad. And so I did that. So this is just a manual closing Dragonoid here. So I'll show you. So horn goes in, feet can go in. It's just like Drago. And then you want to close the wings, but you gotta make sure the head's out. So there's space, close the wings, and then the head goes in. And yeah, it's a little tight, and as you can see, it's not perfect. Again, the print job on this is not that great. So if you have experience printing, I would go ahead and do it. I think I used like 0.07 millimeter PVC red plastic. I think that's right. I believe that's what's on the website for the Bakugan as well on the print file. But yeah, so mine just comes up and out like this. So head comes out, and then I can get the wings out, and he's just boom, done. And yeah, and so the next thing I did, of course, was spray paint it. I decided that orange that I was working with was terrible, and so what I did was just spray painted the entire thing over. That gave me some more workaround room, so when I would paint it orange again, I could go over it with that same red and do any touch-ups I needed to. And so I did that. And then I went in and did all the orange paint and the silver paint, and that's where we got our end result here. The only thing I'm not too sure about is this horn here. It's in the show, it's got some red in it, and of course mine doesn't have that. I'll actually pull up a comparison so you guys can see a picture of what Ultimate Dragonoid looks like. So we are missing that, and then I think there's just a bit of area on the wings here that I painted orange, which also may be silver, because on the inside here there's silver, but again, it's really up to interpretation. I've seen a lot of amazing Ultimate Dragonoid customs, and all of them are kind of up to interpretation. So I'm not gonna like, you know, lose too much sleep over this not being perfectly accurate. Another issue I had was just the head not fully connecting by the horn. I don't know what's going on there, but I could not get it to work. And then likewise, there's a pin here that goes into the horn that is like right in front of an eye, and so it kind of messes that eye up. Like, you can see this eye looks pretty good, like normal Bakugan eye, and this one looks a bit more round, and I blame it halfly because there's a hole here that when it was 3D printed, it was just all kind of messed up. But you can see there's a screw here, and then I think there's 2 screws on both of these feet. One of mine, for some reason, the print like didn't connect it all the way, so it's very loose. The other one's actually perfect. And so yeah, but if you were to get springs, they go in the wings here. There's one up in here, and then if you've ever seen Drago, the mechanism for the magnets in there. There's a piece on the neck here that's really hard to see, but this hooks down into a hole there where there's another hook that triggers the magnet. Like, mine does have a magnet, but it does not move, and it probably won't ever move. You could try oiling it, maybe that's an option, but I do not see that working. And you know what? He looks pretty cool next to Wyvern. So, like, can't complain. He's just going to be a display piece. He's never going to work properly. So I'm not too, like, upset about it. But, I mean, he does look pretty sick. So, cannot complain there. But yeah, guys, that will be the end of this video. If you'd like to download the files, there will be a link in the description. And that's all I have for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like, drop a comment, and of course, subscribe for more awesome content. My name is Jesse, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.